Game.
Hello, my name is Kenneth Spurgeon.
And our presentation is to think before you drink.
Preventing Fetal Alcohol Syndrome, also known as FAS.
Our topic is related to family consumer sciences in FCCLA through the following TEAC and topics. The student is going to investigate optimal prenatal care in the development of a child, and the student is expected to.
Topic B, analyzing the environmental development of substances such as the brain development and how they affect.
Topic D is analyzing reasons in good health before and during your pregnancy. What is FAS? FAS is Fetal Alcohol Syndrome. It's caused when a mother drinks during her pregnancy, and it causes mental and physical birth defects.
FAS has been around for 40 years. The background started with two doctors, Dr. Smith and Dr. Kenneth Jones, were both pediatricians specialized in dysformality.
Dysformality is a congenital abnormalities that rise above during development.
Smith and Jones started examining a group of 8 children. During their observations, they found that 4 of the 8 children all had the same dysformalities. The common denominator between all these children was that they came from alcoholic mothers.
On the side, Smith and Jones began to gather studies of children also born to mothers that were alcoholics.
After all findings and gathering information, in 1973, Smith and Jones, along with 2 other doctors, submitted their findings, pattern of malformation in offspring of chronic alcoholic mothers, to the Lance Journal.
After their findings, FAS spread like wildfire, and the groundwork for all the information we have today was laid. Diagnosing FAS. There are 4 classifications of FAS, starting with the classic FAS diagnosis. Documentation of all 3 facial abnormalities is needed to diagnose FAS. This includes the small palpable fissures at the eyes, a thin upper lip, and smooth philtrum right here in between the lip and the nose. Also, documentation of growth deficiencies and documentation of central nervous system abnormalities.
Partial fetal alcohol syndrome, also known as PFAS, required history of utero exposure to alcohol. This is, the mother could have alcohol in her system as time of birth, or her testimonial admitting to using alcohol anytime during her pregnancy. Evidence of facial dysmorphia. You don't have to have all 3. You could have one or the other, or all of them except one. You don't need all of them to be diagnosed with this. Evidence of growth retardation or evidence of central nervous system abnormalities.
Alcohol-related neurodevelopment disorder, also known as ARND. ARND is the most common diagnosis of all of the FAS diagnoses. It's a self-regulatory, such as troubles with their behaviors.
There's also alcohol-related birth defects. This requires confirmed history of in utero exposure to alcohol, which can come from alcohol being present in the system of mom or baby at time of birth, or the mother openly admitting to drinking alcohol while pregnant. Also, evidence of structural birth defects associated with in utero exposure to alcohol, which include malformations of the cardiac, skeletal, renal, ocular, or auditory systems.
What does someone with FAS look like? It's most common for someone with FAS to have a thin upper lip, a smooth philtrum, or a small palpable fissures. If you would take your index finger and have it across your upper lip, you would feel the divots right there. A child suffering with FAS would not have that. If you look over and you see how high your nose goes, theirs goes more into their faces. They have minor ear anomalies, which cups their ears and brings them out more forward.
The unseen effects of FAS. These can be broken down into 2 classifications: the unseen physical and the unseen mental and emotional effects. Your unseen physical will be in your first column over here. It usually tends to be hearing problems, vision problems, sleep and sucking problems during infancy. It could lead to premature birth, miscarriage, stillbirth, or death of the baby. Very, very much life not left after being born. Your unseen effects of the emotional and mental will be in your second column over here. It'll start off with your hyperactive behavior, your mental retardation, your memory, attention, judgment problems, your low IQ, your development disabilities. We see a 17-year-old affected with FAS, we see them as acting out. We see them as making their own decisions. These are not their own choices. They are affected by these disabilities because they were born this way. You look at them, you're 18 years old. Why are you acting like that? They don't have a choice. This is how they were born. Some of them may never grow out of it. Some may learn how to deal with it. But we see them as affected with this, but really they're infected in the inside and they can't change it.
Here we meet Ashley. Ashley was adopted, and at a young age, her adopted parents noticed she was developmentally behind other kids her age. At age 5, they found out that she was diagnosed with FAS. In the video clip, we hear her mother's concerns at how others view Ashley and her disorder.
She's 10. She struggles socially and academically. She has some great teachers in a great school that help her along. I just think looking at Ashley, most people don't see anything wrong on the outside, so it's real hard for people to understand when she behaves the way she does. People just need to realize that she's struggling on the inside sometimes too.
In the video, you can see how heartbreaking it is for her mother that others judge Ashley from her outward behavior instead of getting to know her and her inner battles she faces.
Facts to think about with FAS. FAS was discovered 40 years ago, and still 1 in 13 women drink during pregnancy.
1 in 100 have a disorder due to prenatal alcohol exposure, nearly the same rate as autism.
FAS is 100% preventable. If a mother chooses to never consume even a drop of alcohol during her pregnancy, there's no way possible her baby will be born with FAS.
Every woman at the childbearing age, including you, has a choice. It's your choice to decide if you will consume alcohol during pregnancy. There is no approved limit for consumption to stop FAS. So make the right choice and think before you drink.
If you would like to know more about FAS or do some research on your own, you can go to cdc.gov or mothertobaby.org, which was the website set up by the 2 discovering doctors, or nofas.org, which has many video clips with FAS families and individuals.
You can also follow us on our Twitter page at StopFAS2K14 for daily facts and updates about FAS.
You can also watch our presentation on the go on youtube.com after Wednesday, or Wednesday morning.
Here's our documentation from all the clips and information we got in our slides.
If you have any questions, the floor is now open.
We did that.
Thank you.